5, 6, 7, 8. Shoulder 1, shoulder 2, knees 3, up 4, groove 5, groove 6, lasso 7, 8.
We did it. Guess what, y'all? We got the Rollettes with us today. You ready? Let's do this.
Paul Amadeus, yeah, he don't wait for no one.
It ain't no stopping when I'm reaching for the top, and I know it ain't no looking back, I'm only looking forward. And my goals don't define who you know, and I'm fine, I'll be fine. I just want you to know. It ain't no.
What is up? What's going on, family? It's me, Paul Amadeus Lane, and this is the Ability Zone. We have a great show lined up today. We have two members of the amazing Rollette team. You do not want to miss our chat with them. Don't forget, our Abilities Expo Chicago is coming up. So make sure you go to our website and register for free. It's going to be June 21st to the 23rd at the Renaissance Schaumburg Convention Center. And there's some amazing things that's going to go on during that expo you do not want to miss. Well, now let's bring on our very special guest. I am so delighted to have them right now. My next two guests, these amazing ladies, are incredible. We have Connor Lundius. She is dance captain with the Rollettes, and Joci Scott, who is a member of the Rollettes. Ladies, welcome to the program. What is up? How are you both doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. So great to talk to you both. You know, I have had a spinal cord injury for over 31 years, and I've seen the inception of the Rollettes. So I go way back. So it's great to talk to you both, and just find out about what life is like being a member of the Rollettes. But not only that, your own personal experience of living with the spinal cord injury and how dance intercepted that, and how you both are just living some amazing, incredible lives and doing things that you love to do. So tell me a little bit about your spinal cord injury. Maybe some of our viewers and our listeners out there may not be familiar with it. So you want to go first, Connor?
Yeah, I was injured, gosh, it's almost 9 years ago. I was injured at the age of 22, just after I graduated college. But I had been a dancer my whole life. I started dance when I was 5, and danced competitively and at all of my schools. So I did dance in college as well. And after my injury, an occupational therapist showed me the dance team in Los Angeles. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Southern Illinois. And I was shown what then were not called the Rollettes. Very soon after is when the dance team started to be called the Rollettes. And I connected with Chelsea Hill, our founder, and met them actually at an Abilities Expo in Chicago a few months later. They invited me to come out to LA to dance with them. And because I'd tried dancing a little bit through social media channels and tutorials there. And that's kind of like how my newly injured self restarted life. I started dancing with the team and coming out to Los Angeles once or twice a year, and decided 5 years ago to move out here and pursue this full time.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the West Side. I hope you enjoy living out here, and you'll be going.
I do.
And you'll be going home to the Abilities Expo Chicago. So, what is it going to be like having a homecoming?
I'm very excited. Actually, my family lives many hours south of Chicago. We're from Southern Illinois, but it's close enough. So they're making the journey, and my niece and nephew and my sister. I think, and my grandma too. They haven't seen me dance in person. They've seen all my dance videos and everything like on social media, but they haven't seen me perform live yet since my injury. So they're coming up to watch. So I'm really excited. It's going to be super special.
That is amazing. Okay, Joci Scott, I'm not going to let you off the hook. So tell us a little bit about your history, spinal cord injury, and just your introduction into dance, and how'd you become a member of the Rollettes?
Yeah,
I'm also a Midwest girl. I am from Akron, Ohio, home of LeBron. So I grew up there. I went to college at Ohio State. And my whole life I grew up and I was actually doing theater. So I trained and danced through my musical theater productions. And once the acting bug bit me, it never stopped. Can't keep me off the stage or can't keep me from in front of the camera. But when I was 20 years old, I was paralyzed in a small plane crash, and there were no other injuries, thankfully. But I thought that performing was over for me. I hadn't seen anybody in a wheelchair, doing what I wanted to do, and that was really devastating. But as I continued my rehabilitation, I started to see videos on social media, similarly to Connor, of the Rollettes, of Ali Stroker, winning her Tony Award, and things that really inspired me to get back on the stage, which I ultimately did end up doing 4 months after my injury. I ended up in a community theater production back home, and that was really healing and empowering for me to do. So that, I think, is what catapulted me to get connected with the Rollettes. I started doing their online dance classes during the pandemic and got connected with Joci through that. And in 2021, she asked me to be a little sister on the team, which is like a part-time team member who may or may not live in California. And then I ultimately decided to move to California at the end of 2021. And ever since, I've been dancing with the Rollettes and pursuing my acting journey.
Awesome. Welcome to the West Side. We love having you both with us. And Joci, will you and I still be cool if I got you a Michigan sweater? We still good?
Maybe just keep that to yourself.
All right, no problem. Because I know all my friends who went to the Ohio State University. Whenever I tell them that joke, they look at me kind of sideways too. But thank you both for sharing a little bit about your story, about being a member of the spinal cord injury community like myself and everything, and also how dance has really really inspired you both to do some amazing things. And congrats to Joci. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you did something with the Easter Seals just recently, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I participated with the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge for my second year. This year I produced and co-wrote a film and started it called Body Swap.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. And that's one thing I noticed about our community. We start off a lot doing things that we love, especially that we did pre-injury, and then post-injury, we morph off into different things like acting, wheelchair dancing, and all these different things. And it's amazing to see just what we do to just continue to push that envelope to let people know that we've arrived and we are here, and we're gonna just gonna make it do what it does out there. And ladies, one thing I really appreciate about you both is just how ones who are younger or ones who have newer injuries, how you have been able to bring smiles on their faces to really inspire them to push the envelope and start dancing too. What is it like to introduce this dancing to others out there who feel that dancing might not have been even an option for them?
I think that's one of the reasons why we do what we do is because we can see the impact, especially on children with disabilities. Mm-hmm. But I think personally, as someone who's danced basically their whole life, dance is it's a vehicle for so much. And I personally feel it's a great way for people with disabilities to be comfortable with themselves and feel good within themselves again, because you're connecting with your body on a level that you typically don't every day. And anyone can dance. It's just really, finding that connection with your body and that movement and expressing yourself in a way that maybe you hadn't before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love to share that, and that you shared that, Connor. And Joci, how do you feel about it as well?
Yeah, I think for me, it's the confidence. We have our yearly event, Rollettes Experience, and I think I've seen multiple girls come into the weekend and they don't know anybody and they're shy and they're nervous. And then by the end of the weekend, they've got their group of friends and they're, rocking it out on the dance floor. And I think for me, like having that community and seeing other people when they get that community, it's like a transformation, and it's empowering and incredible. And I work with this little girl in particular. Her name's Cecily Taylor, and she's 5. And just seeing her confidence, she says, I'm going to be a dancer. I'm going to be on the Rollettes when I grow up. And like her confidence of just like everything that she would ever want to do is, attainable to her because she has role models like us. And it's really humbling to be in that position. And I think it grounds me and all of us because we know who we're impacting and what we're doing for them.
I love to hear that. I remember when I talked with your founder, Chelsea Hill, many years ago, and hearing about the Rollettes Experience, it just really just blew my mind, to see how Rollettes are paying it forward with the next generation, because I look at the community that I represent when it comes to gaming, when it comes to content creation, and also I do a little acting too, Josie. I mean, I'm not as good as you, but and just kind of paying it forward to ones out there who didn't know that they could do these things as well, and just to see that look on their face, the smile on their face, it just really warms our heart. I mean, maybe both of you kind of felt like I did when I first got injured. I never thought that, I thought my whole world, was over it when I first got injured, because, went from being this active young kid to now being a power wheelchair user. And I was like, my life is over. But then when I realized that I was going to be able to help others get over that hump too, that they were feeling, it just opened a whole new world for me. And ladies, I don't know if you both felt that way too, when that moment came up when you're like, hey, I'm going to help my community out to see how they can just break down a lot of barriers. Have any of you felt that way?
I think in some ways I managed my recovery mentally quite well. I don't know how.
Nice.
I think for me, I was 22 when I was injured, and I had just graduated college. So mentally I was really looking to start my life in a way. I had worked so hard in school, and that was like a finish line for me, and I had just crossed it. So I was ready to just like live and experience and do all of the things that my 22 years of hard work, had allowed me to do. And then when I got injured, life kind of stopped. So for me, the one thing that I didn't want it to do is take away any precious time that I thought that I had as a female in my young 20s. And so that's why I kind of started immediately just trying to figure out what I was going to do next and how I was going to get to the next step and how I was going to get my independence back, and start achieving all of those like new goals that I set for myself. And I think when I found dance, it was so familiar and it was something that I loved. It's not what I thought that I'd still be doing today, 10 years later. So there is that. But when I don't want to say rediscovered, because it was always in me, but when I discovered this like new path of dance and the community that it serves, I just, couldn't say no to it. And I'm so passionate about what I'm doing and what Rollettes is doing today.
I love that. Connor said, don't call it a comeback because I've been here for years. That's what I'm talking about, and that's amazing. And Joci, how did you feel just after injury and just the adjustment period? Because, I hear a lot from ones who are recently injured, or even their families, and just there's that adjustment period. What did you go through a period where you had to just adjust to like maybe the new normal, and how does it feel now that you and Connor are in the positions to help others adjust to that new normal, to see that, hey, life does go on and you can still have a lot of fun?
Yeah, I mean, I think Connor and I are very similar. So I was very like goal oriented, and like I had all the steps to go through of becoming independent and going back to college. I had to take a semester off, but I think I also really tried to allow myself to grieve um, the life that I wouldn't have. Um, at first, I think a lot of us go through, the period where we're like, oh, I'm going to walk again, I'm going to heal. And kind of coming to terms with that not happening was difficult. And the pandemic hit as well right after my injury. It was about 8 months after my injury where everything shut down, and so then I was really like at home alone. Well, my family was there, but like I didn't have my whole support system, and I was just there sitting and thinking about everything. And that was a really rough time for me. Um, because like I didn't know what my life would look like. I didn't know how I could be a mother. I didn't know what I would do after college. So it was hard. It was hard to come to terms with. And I never want to minimize that because, I know that there are thousands of people going through even more what we all went through. And so when I found the Rollettes, that was empowering for me, not just because I could reconnect with dance, but also because I saw these women like Connor and Chelsea and all the girls really who were unapologetically and happily living their lives. And they didn't care about walking again. And they just said, this is how I am now, and I'm going to make the most of it. And that was so empowering and motivating for me. And once I got connected with them, they're teaching me tricks that I had never like learned before. And it just like felt so right to be part of this community. And I think that's what a lot of the women who come to Rollettes Experience and follow the Rollettes, they experience that as well, because, it's people who understand what you go through on a daily basis. And it's really powerful.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that, Josie, because it's interesting. Like I know when I got hurt too, I was like, oh, I'm gonna walk again. It's gonna be real quick. You see all these success stories that I'm gonna be like that, and then when the reality comes in, then now you realize, okay, now I have to make the best out of my situation, and I don't know. I'm kind of weird now because mine was 31 years ago, so I'm kind of weird now. I'm like, okay, if I were to walk again today, I would lose all of my shine. I mean, I would be just normal now, and I would just fit in the crowd. I won't be Paul, the guy in the wheelchair who does this and does that. I would just be like the regular Joe Schmo. And I'm like, do I want to give that up for all the attention that I get? So I'm kind of weird with it now, but it just shows that we can all live like a fulfilled, amazing life. Even post injury, and you two are just amazing. I mean, Connor, I watched some of your old um, dancing that was pre-injury, and you're amazing. And see what you're doing now, amazing too. Now, Joci, I haven't seen any of yours yet. I'm sure some of your stuff post-injury, I'm sorry, pre-injury is out on the internet yet. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm going to look at it. But just to see that, you two amazing women are just helping our community out so much, and I just want to give you both your flowers for doing what you all are doing. And if we can for a moment, let's talk about the Abilities Expo experience and what it means to have the Rollettes be a integral part of the Abilities Expo, and some experiences that you have over the years of being a part of the Abilities Expo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, a community is this word that we say a lot, and it's such an important word for the disability community. And I think when it comes to recovering and, rediscovering life and refinding your passion or finding new passions, having people there to support you and be by your side is so important. And that's why Rollettes Experience exists, to have that community moment for women and girls with disabilities all across the world. But I think that's also why Abilities Expo exists, to have that community and bring together people that all have shared experiences in the same space, and guide them and educate them, and have them like learn from one another. So Abilities Expo is something that I think every newly injured person does if they're familiar with it. It's what I did. I was I think less than a year after my injury, my mom and I, we loaded in the car and drove 5 hours to the Chicago Abilities Expo to meet the Rollettes, and to also gather information about, so many things, and find resources. And because there's just not, social media is one thing, and it's a very powerful tool, and that's great. But I think being able to have Abilities Expo as a physical place where all of that can happen as well is even more important. So I have such fond memories of Abilities Expos. When I joined the team part-time as a little sister, I would come out to Los Angeles every spring for the LA Expo, and that is just on another level. So dancing at the Abilities Expos, it's how we kick off our like Rollettes calendar year. We always debut our new choreography and really just get to see all of our friends and our family, our Rollettes family. So it's something that we look forward to. And I think this year especially, we're so thankful to be able to have attended New Jersey and be in Chicago and just be traveling around to share the message and have all of these community moments with Abilities Expo.
That is so awesome. When hearing your Abilities Expo memory remind me of mine, it was like 1 year after my injury, and a friend of mine and my sister, they saw this commercial, said, hey, I want to take you down to this expo. And that was when it was in Orange County over there by Disneyland. So and I went there, and I was getting out of the vehicle, and I saw this wheelchair limo, and it just like blew my mind. I was like, whoa, they got stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing, some of the things that we see at the expo that really just help us out. And Joci, your thoughts too, please.
The first time I rolled into an Abilities Expo, I think I was so just overwhelmed. There's so much to look at, and so much, like you said, like so many possibilities that you never even thought of, like equipment and accommodations and things that you wouldn't have thought of just like by yourself. And it's really cool to see. And I think some of my fondest memories are just like interacting with people, meeting new people, and seeing them do the rock wall and just having a blast, and seeing people experience everything for the first time, and experiencing this community and meeting other people like them is really cool and really powerful.
And Joci, are you like me? When you see people on that wall, do you say, you want me on that wall, you need me on that wall? You ever think about that?
Yeah, I have done it a few times. I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Yeah, just to and what inspires me is the younger generation, who are part of our community, just to see them. I learn a lot from them. When you get a little older, you get kind of grumpy, set in your ways, and just to see the joy in their eyes and their face, it's just really like, it's an amazing thing. And the expo, give us that opportunity to meet up like a family. And I always say this, that people in the world who love all this division and all this nonsense, they need to spend some time at the Abilities Expo, and they need to see what it means to get along as a community. And they can learn a lot from us, and really appreciate the vibe, the flavor, all the amazingness and awesomeness that you all as the Rollettes bring to the Abilities Expo too. I wanted to talk about your routines. We always see the finished product and we're like, whoa, these ladies are just doing it. Does it take a lot of hard work to get in sync? And is it different from when you both were up and around to now doing wheelchair choreography? If you don't mind sharing some of those secrets with us, if you can.
Yes. It's not easy. I think it's the same. I think in so many ways. I choreograph still, and the way that it like translates in my brain to my seated body is very familiar, and the movements feel the same, and when I perform I feel the same, but that's the performance. There's so much that we have to think about. I think that maybe I wasn't thinking about before when it comes to doing things with the Rollettes, a wheelchair dance team. The factoring in the wheelchair can be quite tricky sometimes, especially because we want to change formations. And sometimes we try to change formations like while we're dancing. So how to move the wheels while keeping your arms moving and not colliding with the person next to you. Everyone's wheelchair is different. It's all a different size. So the timing can be different depending on each girl on the team. I think that's like my biggest thing is like factoring in for everyone's wheelchairs and how fast are they are, and what is the movement like, what's restricted, what could be not restricted on me could be a restriction on another person. And then I think too, just sometimes we really try and push and push and push. And some things we just can't. Some things we just can't do. So we're like trying to reinvent the wheel all the time to come up with new things. I think our routine this year, we have some tricks in that we haven't, that at least for the 5+ years that I've been dancing with the team, we haven't had, and we're really trying to just kind of make our routines as entertaining as possible, and that can be quite complicated. It's a very like choreographed, orchestrated thing with the timing, because if you're off or if you didn't quite make that turn around to the front on 5, 6, 7, 8, and the one involves both of your arms above your wheels not touching your wheels, you're not going to get back to the front, so it's like there's no adjusting sometimes that can happen. It's like you have to hit your mark, you have to hit your movement on the count, because that's just your only option. So it can be quite complicated, especially when we're learning. And I think when we're trying to like figure out what works and what doesn't, we're doing things so many different ways. But we love what we do. That's a very long answer.
I love it. I love it. And Joci, I'm gonna put you on the spot. So when Connor comes up with the choreography and everything and share it with the rest of the team, do you ever sit and be like, wow, Connor, you want us to do this? Can we do this? And then when you put it together, you're like, wow, Connor, this was amazing. You were spot on. You ever had those type of moments?
Yeah, exactly that. Connor likes to challenge us. So I'm a pretty confident dancer, but sometimes there are parts of the choreography that are very quick and very sharp, and all the girls are like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then we learn it, and Connor always says like we end up rushing it, so we end up doing it faster than we need to.
Yeah, they're only shocked, and then a week later after rehearsals, everyone's fine.
Yeah, no, I totally get it, and just to see where we're at, where I know on this past season of So You Think You Can Dance, there was a wheelchair dancer who went pretty far in the auditions, and that was really amazing to see where we're at, where ones are embracing this is really awesome.
Yeah, that's Kaylee Bass. She's a Rollette's little sister, actually. So
wow,
she's really
I had no idea she was a Rollette. That's cool. And you know what, Connor, you went from a little sister now to dance captain. What was that like?
Someone asked me this question recently about how I kind of became team captain, and I just I think I just coasted in. I think I just rolled into the position. My background in dance has really prepared me for a lot, and I've been a part of teams and organizations and different groups like my whole life. So the functionality of that is something that I'm very, very used to. And I think when I really started to see what Rollettes does, I feel so passionate about expanding that mission and really just doing the work. Because I also help produce Rollettes Experience and our Boundless Talent Showcase as well. So once I really started to see what we can do and what we are doing and the message that we're sending out there in the world every day. I just couldn't not be a part of it. So I wanted to push myself to do more within the company.
Look at you. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. And Joci, what about you? You know, you gonna push the envelope too? You're gonna be a Rolex captain one day. You go, what's up?
I don't know about that.
I hear you.
My passion definitely is acting. So
Definitely.
I love dancing with the girls, and having a good time. But I think my passion mainly with Rollettes is the community and connecting with people, and that's something that I'll do until I die. I think I'll always be connected to the Rollettes in some capacity.
And I think that's why I love Rollettes too, is because we all have something that we're passionate about. We all love dance, and dancing and performing is the foundation of everything that we do, but there's so much else that needs to be out there in the world as well. So with Joci and her acting, she's really made some incredible waves in the community the last couple of years with the projects that she's been involved on and the work that she's been doing, and being able to have her be a part of Rollettes and have all of us as a team support her and see her journey and, do whatever we can to push and elevate her career and her confidence is, it's what we're all about. It's community at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And before I let you go, Abilities Expo Chicago is coming up. Tell us about what the Rollettes are going to be doing there, what the presence is going to be like, and you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, I'm very excited to be in Chicago. Myself and Joci will be there with our teammate Danica. And it's been many years since we've been to a Chicago Expo, so I can't wait to just reconnect with everyone in the Midwest. The Rollettes, we travel often, but our travel has been quite affected the last handful of years. So I think I personally am really excited to just meet new people and see some familiar faces. We're going to be performing on Friday and Saturday of the expo. Might be there with some of our merch, some of our disabled isn't a bad word shirts, and hats if anyone is interested. And really just we're going to be there dancing, performing. I'll teach a dance class, really just to get everybody moving and connect with people. That's what I'm most excited about. But we're going to be there Friday and Saturday.
So you'll get us all dancing, we can get our groove on and all that other good stuff.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And any closing thoughts from the both of you before we let you go?
No closing thoughts. We're just so excited and so thankful to Abilities Expo to continue to give us this platform to showcase the Rollettes and what we do to empower women and girls with disabilities to live boundlessly. If anyone is searching for community, definitely check out the Abilities Expo. They happen all across the United States. Check out Rollettes Experience. It's July 11th through 14th in Los Angeles, California. And if you want more information on Rollettes, or you can also stalk the page and find Joci and I and our personal handles as well. But we're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Rollettes_LA.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We want to make sure everybody come out to the West Side, because you and I know it's the best side. Come see us in LA. We know how to get it done, because like the late great Pac said, California know how to party. Yes, we do. That's what we do. And Connor, Joci, thank you too for doing what you do. Thank you too for being who you are. Thank you for the Rollettes, and looking forward to catching up and chopping it up with you both soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
A huge shout out to Connor and also Joci. Really enjoyed talking to those amazing ladies and some of the great things that they're doing. Don't forget to go to our website right now and register for free. Are you ready to supercharge your independence? Well, those are some of the great things that you are going to experience at the Abilities Expo in Chicago. And speaking of experiences, did you know that the Rollettes have a special dance performance on Saturday, June 22nd at 10:30 a.m. before the show even opens. It's going to be incredible. Now, it's free to see the special showing, but if you need a ticket, all you have to do is click the Rollettes box in the registration form and we'll send you one. But don't wait because space is limited. Then after the Rollettes performance, you can go right into the Abilities Expo show floor. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ability Zone. I am Paul Amadeus Lane. Until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and remember, I love you all to life. Take care.